It's competitive. I think in all cities, NHL cities, there is going to be competitive. There's going to be elation and disappointment of not getting what they've been going after. We've all been there, where a fellow collector has picked up something that we really were trying to get and just didn't end up getting it. It's just a matter of sometimes timing, sometimes buying at the right price or making a heavier offer than normal. Started off playing hockey around 10, 11 years old. My godfather gave me my first pair of skates and stick and a puck. And I would just play, in pond hockey or in that. And then wanted to get a little more organized and ended up playing in house leagues and things like that. And then I moved up when I was 13 to my first travel tryout. And I had to beat my best friend to get on the team, in which I did, and he was not happy about it. In that organization, it was Chicago Saints, as they were called, and my cousin and Chris Chelios were already in that organization. So I kind of joined the group. I was a year older than them, so I was on the A team one year and then the B team the next, which my cousin and Chris would come up with that group. With a very elite group, very, very good group of hockey players. Chelios family is definitely a hardworking family, and both on and off the ice. Chris's dad and my dad grew up in the same area as kids in Greece, so they did know each other, and we didn't know each other on social basis. Always good to see someone make it and make it far. In the '86 season, also we were invited to the game, and then afterwards to have soup and sandwiches with the Montreal Canadiens and Chris Chelios. So myself, my uncle, and my cousin and I went and sat down with Chris. His brother was there, and not a few other people, but other players were around us who were complete Hall of Famers. And we were just oblivious to who was around, like Bob Gainey, Robinson, Patrick Roy, who was a young lad just getting into that season. And then eventually they won the cup that year, which was kind of unique. And it was like, you had soup and sandwiches with those guys. And I spent time at Gunzo's, was the customizer for a long time, just hanging out and watching these guys work, cutting tackle tool numbers, by hand. Putting jerseys together, and I saw a lot of that there. I even, while hanging out, was asked to run items down to the Chicago Stadium, and I'd hang out there for several years. And eventually I got the itch. It's like, I'm 22 years old, and I'm like, I need to get a Blackhawks jersey. It's like a game-worn jersey. Didn't really get one, but my first jersey was a 82-3 Steve Shutt Montreal Canadiens. Which I bought and had a hard time selling. You got to remember, social media was non-existent. Writing or telephone, actually having phone conversations with other people, dealers or collectors, was the only way to get things done. Eventually, I do obtain 85 playoff meshes through a team source, and that's kicked off my situation, so to speak, for the Hawks, because I've always wanted Hawks. So, and I was never able to get them. So eventually, my need and want was really starting to resonate. I wanted to get these jerseys, and I had special players that I really liked, like Al Secord, Dennis Savard, Steve Larmer, as they were infamous lines. So I started to try to find people that had things. The very first I got was the 93-4 red with the alternate, which is featured in Sports Collectors Digest. Actually got it off of an employee for a good amount. He says, since it's all beat up, I'll just sell it to you for X amount of dollars. And I was like, I don't care what you ask for it. It's like, well, I want it. So since then, it's grown through various channels. One of them came from Patrick Waugh, so we did a purchase from him. One came from Bernie Nichols. I got to give Bernie some props here. He's a good guy. And they come from anywhere, basically, just from just eBay to collectors or just player direct. I was started as a season ticket holder in 1981, so I had box seats, 5 rows off the ice. The Hawks shoot twice, so it was great. So I saw a lot of goals. Seeing everybody on the ice, it gave that energy. I enjoyed, obviously, the logo and the uniform is my favorite of all time, and always should be since I'm born and bred in Chicago. First, you start collecting just to collect. Then you start building criterias and sub-criterias to that. There's a mental library that I have that goes on certain criteria that every jersey has to meet. Most collectors have a little bit of this knowledge, and then there's some years they're kind of a gray area situation where they're not sure why it was done or how long certain jerseys were worn. I've been called on numerous situations, like, for instance, I had to drive 2 hours north because somebody had a Bobby Hull jersey. And of course, I jumped in the car and ran and found out it was just a store-bought replica. And then I give the news to the gentleman that had it, and I go, it's not worth a whole lot. I go, it's sentimental to you, and you should hold on to it. The 87, 88 red jerseys, which had the home Tomahawks put on there, and became anomaly jerseys over many, many years. Nobody wanted to buy them, and then of late, they're the hottest thing right now to collect. When Gunzos didn't want to pay the NHL a fee, CCM does them, and basically just crests and patches and shoulder patches, everything. And then the customizations came later as far as nameplates and that. So they start out with the whites. Poor sower at CCM didn't realize that there are different colored Tomahawks that go on the roads, and kept putting the Tomahawks for the whites on the road jerseys. It became an obscure oddball set. And so they go to try to sell them. Nobody wants them because they're wrong. Decades go by, and it's like all of a sudden this shit takes off because it's an anomaly. Out of the 40, I have 4 in there, and there's about 5 more out there that other collectors have. So that's kind of the obscure set. From left to right, we've got a 69-70 Bobby Hull, 82-3 Al Secord, 92 finals Jeremy Roenick, and a 61 finals Al Arbor. The first 3 that I mentioned are the only 50 goal scorers for the Hawks, and the Secord and Roenick jerseys are the actual jerseys that they scored 50th goal in. Roenick, he's a 500 goal scorer. He hits the criteria for the Hall of Fame. There's evidence on all his jerseys that he wore that he, a lot of repairs, a lot of wears, a lot of scuffing, a lot of blood stains, and you name it on all those. Hawk Quarters was the team store, and they did a sealed bid auction. This was the only jersey to be bid on the entire white set. So I ended up getting it. I was very happy with it and walked out of the store, and I forgot about all the other jerseys that they had, So I go back about 2 days later, and then they had sold most of them at straight sale. So I missed my Chris Chelios finals jersey there. So I'm disappointed with myself. I'm not thinking, because I was so excited to get the most exciting Blackhawk, on the team. It does get expensive. We're a small circle. There's new era collectors too, which are buying through marketing companies or dealers or directly from the team that do get these nice items, but they pay as much as a vintage jersey. Connor McDavid jerseys are in the mid-teens. Matthews in the mid-teens. They make more of them than they will Jeremy Roenick or Chris Chelios jerseys. The way to collect is that we try to buy at value, and we try to buy it at something we could live with, and then we overpay. The overpay is gonna have a lot of emotional attachment, or for one reason or another, you were at this particular game and you witnessed something. My thing with the 92, I have a fondness for 92 Hawk Finals jerseys, and have a few others besides that, and the red mate to the Roenick, which I never thought even existed because I thought Jeremy Roenick had it. And I was offered by a hockey jersey dealer this situation, which I completely jumped on immediately. So you never know when things start turning your way. Same with the El Arbor Finals. I drove 2 hours away from here to a sports auction. This was the only hockey jersey was there, and I knew after passing up on Earl Balfour that I was not going to let this one get away. So I've only seen two, and I own the one out of two. So it's a very unique year too, because it's actually my birth year, 61.